It's Monday Club. Up in the loft, the trains are set for Monday Club. They're on the mark, so let's get go. It's Monday Club, the one we love. It's what we're gonna do. Grab our locos and set them up and make them go choo-choo. It's Monday Club. It was by request, I'm sorry. I put out a funny little tune, and it was by request. People said you've got to sing it. So,
I was about to do the...
shall we do the standard one?
The standard one.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Yay!
Hi there everyone, welcome back to another great Monday Club. It's great to see you all, and my, you guys have been busy already, so George Butterini, a huge thanks to you for the $10 donation, and also Robert Steers as well, who sent $10 through the paypal.me link. So my word, gosh, it's going mental. Nuts and Bolts 77 as well. A lot of people saying the pizza fund. Actually, we had pizza last night, but thank you ever so much.
There will be another pizza. There's always
room for pizza. But Nuts and Bolts
so
77
much,
as well.
So generous.
Thank you ever so much. And today's Monday Club, of course, comes to you in association with Scale Model Scenery, your one-stop shop for all manner of things to improve the look of your model railway and to make building your projects easier. So do go and check out their website. And one of the things that they've been promoting a lot over the last week is a lot of the textured bricks and slates. Some really great products there. So I'm just going to bring up one of these on screen. So we've got the weathered laser cut terracotta roof tiles.
They do look lovely. Wow.
And when you look at those as well, it's roofs on a lot of buildings, especially if you're building card kits, can sometimes seem quite flat and unrealistic. So it's a great way to kind of customize and improve existing card kits if you want to do that, or build your own from scratch. So a big thank you to Scale Model Scenery for supporting the channel.
That really does look good.
And what have we got for you today? Well, there's a lot going on. Lots of news over the last week. One of the things as well, I know we touched on this a couple of months I think it was back, about the Flangeway salmon wagon that was being made for Flangeway by Dapol. And when it arrived, it turned out to be, I think it was about 20 millimeters too short. Now 20 millimeters in double, as in like it was physically 20 millimeters too short. That's quite a discrepancy.
That's 2 centimeters.
Indeed it is, Zoe, all day long.
Yeah, but that makes more... People can judge a centimetre more than a millimetre.
Yeah, but what it actually equates to is just over 1.5 metres on the real thing.
Yeah, that's a big discrepancy.
But I'm just seeing that Robert Steers has also donated $4.99 through the super chat. So that's greetings from Montana, USA, and of course Robert Steers very generously. You've already donated through the paypal.me as well, $10. So
oh my goodness.
Thank you ever so much. Gosh, you guys are so generous. So I really thank you for that, and I'm going to be putting it towards what you...
No, you finish what you're saying.
I'm going to be putting that towards a Class 35 diesel. It's another gaping hole in my locomotive fleet. And I think it's certainly one that I've been asked a few times about whether I was going to consider getting either the Hellion version or the EFE version. And I think it's time that the Jenny Monday Club locomotive fleet expanded. So I'm going to be putting any donations today towards the Class 35, which is the high mech. What do you want?
So for Aiden L, we have to sing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Aiden. Happy birthday to you. Because today he's 21.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So now, everything that can be legal is legal.
And he's got a question for you, Jen.
Yes.
He can't watch an awful lot because it's his 21st birthday.
Oh,
so
wait, obviously,
birthday.
yeah.
But he has one question for you. English, Belgian, or German beer?
Well, that's a toughie. I would say German beer, but with the other two fairly close behind. I mean, each country has different kind of products, so
Yeah.
I think they all complement each other. But if you're going on the Raz tonight to the corner shop and back to buy your beverage of choice, I would say that there's actually some really, really nice German beers that you can buy in the big glass bottles. But actually, I like Chinese lager.
Oh, you do it. You have
Yeah,
a
my Tsingtao?
Qingtao or something like that.
Tsingtao.
You do like it. It's got an interesting scent.
It's spelt Tsingtao. But
Qingtao.
yeah, just so people know. Oh.
Jenny is a connoisseur, but not really a good linguist.
Hey, come on! I started out by Tsingtao. Right. So, Garthian says Welsh beer is best. And on my word, Simon Trains Model Railway Showcase says £10 for the High Meg Fund. Love the Class 35s. That is amazingly generous. Thank you so much for that.
Hyde Kent has stated the one I was thinking of. Star
yes, I've seen that in the co-op.
It's around a lot.
It doesn't linger once you got the bottle open. And the thing you've got to remember is that alcoholic beverages, you don't buy them, you merely rent them by the hour. If you don't believe me, drink a bottle and see how long it takes before it goes, your rental period is up. To the loo with you. No, but thank you.
We have tonight, thing of choice is broken biscuits, because I found some in a shop.
Yes, you did. The cupboard monkey is like, we're going to cut back, chocolate biscuits. It's like the Cookie Monster, but also...
They're not all chocolate. I've got a jammy Dodger.
Right. Anyway. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, the Flangeway's what wagon was it? The salmon wagon. What did I say it was? Well, the wagon that Dapol are doing for Flangeways, they've acknowledged that there's obviously a big problem. I don't think anybody's quite sure what's happened with that. It's turned out too short. It's obviously got all the way through tooling to the first EP stage before somebody's gone, that's the wrong length. So they actually have to completely retool it. That is now going ahead. So that wagon will be, it'll be delayed, but it is still coming out. Other news, we've also got the Rails Connect range has expanded. So you may have seen some posts from Rails of Sheffield about the Rails Connect range, and they've expanded into DC and DCC controlled point motors. So ostensibly, these seem to be pitching themselves as a direct competitor to Pico PL10 and PL11 type point motors. But these are being made with stainless steel, high quality, high grade materials, so that they've got the durability. And they also feature a special consideration to easy locatable screw holes. So when you're trying to line these up, I know from experience it can be an absolute pain to get the things lined up and working. So they've put a lot of attention into the design on these. They've also got DCC point control modules to go with them. And these provide a lot of functionality. And I did check with DCC Concepts, who are making these for Rails of Sheffield under the Rails Connect brand, and they say that actually even though the DCC point control modules are shown powering a point, and if you buy the DCC Ready pack, it shows like you basically get 1 point motor to each DCC module. They do actually have the guts to drive multiple points. So say, for example, if you want to wire up a crossover where both points change at the same time, then it will actually do that. So a lot of possibilities there. Also like to say that the Jenny Monday Club wagon, the special commission from Accurascale, is selling exceptionally well. Now this is a wagon that we launched, was it last week that we launched?
It was. Hasn't the time flown?
It has flown, and that is selling incredibly well. So we're looking at now more than a third of them are spoken for. So if you want to get your order in, it looks like, we've basically sold a third within a week. So if you want one of those wagons, you really do need to get it ordered to avoid disappointment, and that can be done through Rails of Sheffield. They are distributing these, so you can order them with confidence. But let's see what we've got.
We have a Les Kirk in the audience.
I think that Les Kirk is actually Max, my nephew Max,
Right.
using my father's account. But it's great to see you there. Also seen Zach Farnworth, but also Linda King, David Watts, who says, will there be any signed Jenny wagons available from yourselves? See, the Rails of Sheffield are handling all the fulfillment, but what I would say is, when exhibitions start up, I will be doing quite a lot of exhibitions, because one of the other things that I announced last week is that from the start of April, I will be working full-time for DCC Concepts.
Which reminds me, your new boss has said bring some biscuits with you because they've run out.
Oh, right,
So
did
when
he?
when you go to the office, bring some biscuits.
Excellent. So, so Richard Brighton says, P.S. Don't forget that the Rails point control board has frog switching as standard. Of course, that means that whereas with the Pico motors you need the PL13 micro switch, the the Rails Connect, made by DCC Concepts, DCC point control module, it not only will it change your points, but it will change the indicator light on a control panel. If you want the output, it will do the frog polarity changing as well. But it also does have input for a switch and also easy programming for giving it a DCC accessory decoder address. So it's designed to be as easy as possible. And yes, I will bring some biscuits on Wednesday. I'm basically having my my first day at work and my new job on Wednesday. So yes, I will bring some biscuits.
We have someone was asking you about doing signings, and you were talking about conventions. So, are you going to sign at conventions?
I will do, yes. So if you buy a Jenny Monday Club wagon and you come to any of the shows that I will be at with DCC Concepts, then I will happily autograph either the wagon or the box, or both, depending on what you want. Just bear in mind that my signature is it looks like somebody testing that your pen works. It's like, yep, your biro works.
So we've got a question here. Hive Kent says, Jenny, why not ask Rails to put a signed certificate in each box? Because Rails aren't handling anything apart from taking them out of the package when they arrive and selling them.
Putting a numbered certificate in the wagon boxes is actually quite labour intensive. It would add greatly to the cost. Now, these aren't cheap wagons. They retail at £30, well, £29.99. That is actually the RRP of the Curascale wagons. I know that somebody was trying to make claims that I was profiteering from this. Absolutely not. These are being sold at the standard RRP for these wagons. So if you bought a main range single wagon, that's what they would cost. But you would be looking at an increase in price to be able to accommodate that. David J says, hey Jennifer Kirk and Flangeway Chairman 1, you remember that a Humbrol Mat 33 that cost $9.99 last week? It was actually a 50 milliliter tin, not one of those teeny tiny tins, beautifully packed, so not too much of a bad deal. Yeah, absolutely. That is it's good that you say that, because I was worried that you'd paid over the odds last week. One of the things as well, I have spoken with Hornby, who confirmed that there are no supply issues with the Humbrol Matte number 33, which is the matte black. We actually, I say we, the Cupboard Monkey went out to Bolton Model Mart in Bolton after the day after the stream. It was a case of, we probably ought to get some in if there's a problem. First shop we went to, I say we, the Cupboard Monkey went to, was had plentiful supplies, got 2 of the tins at the normal price. I then, in the meantime, got a reply from Montana Huron at Hornby, very, very kindly replied to my question about whether there was any supply issues and said, absolutely not. No need to worry about supply of Humbrol number 33 or indeed any of the other colours. There is no supply issue, and indeed they've just received a container of paints, which will include, amongst all the other colours, number 33, so there is no supply issues whatsoever with the Humbrol paints.
Anthony 1956 says, will there be a second run of your Jenny wagons?
We haven't decided, to be honest with you. One thing I will say to you is that
you spent an awful lot of your savings to produce this already. I don't think we can afford a second run.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is that once these are sold out, do not expect another run of the MDV wagon. That will not be repeated by us. We will be, if we do consider another limited edition run, we will go for something completely different. But there is no guarantee of that. So to avoid being disappointed, it is recommended that you place an order for one of the wagons. Now, see who else have we got. Crossways Point Junction, South African 00 gauge United Kingdom locomotives. Says nice layout there. Thank you very much. JJ Williams, 1984. Pete Clark, James's Model Railway, Moreland Model Railway.
I've got to jump in. Mad on Steam Railway says, this DCC concept job sounds great, but could you give us some idea of what you're actually doing for them? I can confirm that Jenny is going to be reprising her role from the Crime Watch episode. She is going to be a shelf.
A shelf?
Yes.
A load-bearing shelf? I'm like
just a general shelf.
No, actually, I'm doing video and social media type work for them, and I know a lot of people have asked me, said, "Oh, does this mean the end of the Jenny Monday Club?" Nope, we're still here. Specifically, the YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, the Jenny Monday Club, will be continuing independent from my work at DCC Concepts. You'll be able to see me on the DCC Concepts YouTube channel, but this channel will also continue, and so they will run in parallel.
Yeah, it's not really a conflict of interest when her day job's going to be standing outside in a clown outfit with a sign that says golf sale.
I'm laughing, but that's mean. It is funny, but mean.
It's hilarious. Yeah. I had to say it.
Retro Mickey 82. Hello to you, Daryl Hearn, Flymo Chairman 1 on the main line. Humanity Junction. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, so ask about the alpha meter.
You like your alpha meter, don't you?
Yeah, it's down here. I can't show you because we don't really have a roving camera.
Well, we do, but it's kind of strapped to the wall at the moment.
Yeah, it's actually in use. But the other thing as well is on the camera, because of the frame rate. It's one of the things I've noticed in videos. When you see somebody showing an alpha meter, the display looks really flickery and weird. Yeah. I can attest that actually, when you see them with your eyes, it is absolutely rock solid, the letters. It's just a thing with the refresh rate between the cameras and the LCD display that makes it on video look a bit weird. But actually, I've got one here, and they are absolutely great way of monitoring what's going on your model railway. Because you can instantly see how much current is being drawn, and if that current starts to vary wildly, normally if it starts to climb, and in fact I'm just looking at it now, we've got number of amps being drawn and the voltage. Your voltage should hover, certainly on this system, I've got 17.8, 17.7. It's hovering just underneath 18 volts at all times on the DCC bus. And the ampage that's being drawn is hovering between 0.5 and 0.6 amps. Now, if that ampage started to climb and you'd see it go up past 1, maybe even past 2, what you know about that is one of your decoders is about to pop. Is the most likely reason for that. It's basically the little the rectifier inside it that rectifies the AC to the DC. What it normally is happening is that's about to give up and go open, not open, short circuit.
Yeah,
is what that actually is. So it's a really great way of monitoring your layout. And obviously, if you've got like current leakage, not a direct short. If you have a direct short, it tends to trip everything out. Well, your system should just trip everything out, but it will give you an indication on current use, whether you're straining your actual power supply, things like that.
Yeah.
James Hardy is asking a Jenny branded locomotive. Now, if you knew what a run, and I'm not telling you because I'm not allowed to, but if you knew what a run of wagons cost, then you can multiply that through by sort of probably 10 times that. Nearly for doing a locomotive.
You're talking about a very nice car.
Yeah, you're talking about the difference between the cost of a Nissan Micra and the cost of a BMW 7 Series.
It's significant. So, as much as we'd love a Monday Club Gronk,
oh, that's a good one.
Especially with a special sound chip in it that's Gronk it up when you press a certain button. I don't think we're going to get to that level.
Not for a little while, it has to be
Not
said.
for a very long time.
James, sorry, I've just read that. Gone Loco says people are panic buying number 33 like they did with toilet roll. I'm sure
I hope they're not using it for the same reason. That would be weird. Oh my goodness.
I just painted my bottom with matte black. No, but the matte black paint is not in short supply. I'm not aware. Have spoken to Humbrol, Hornby, Humbrol being part of Hornby, and they confirm there is no supply issues. So do not pay over the odds for this stuff. Do not play into the hands of the gougers, because you should just be able to go and get it from any model shop. And remember that there's a lot of places that stock Humbrol paints. Hobbycraft is one. I mean, you can find this stuff in Hobbycraft.
It's all over the place.
Pretty much every model shop, and a lot of craft shops as well stock things like Humbrol paint. And there are shops that are dedicated to do things like maybe airfix kits. Might not do model trains, but if they do airfix kits, they will also stock the paints.
Yes,
Patrick Ling,
we've got a very good question here from David Scott.
Okay.
Would you need an alpha meter on straight DC?
I don't. Not really. Richard Brighton will be able to answer that. But the actual alpha meter that DCC Concepts do, my understanding is that is for DCC use. I'm sure he'll confirm or put me right on that. I've yet to learn the full product range, but my understanding is it's an item for a DCC layout.
We've got a statement here from Chief89. Hello to Chief89, one of my live stream people who's popped in because I didn't do my stream earlier. Yeah, I didn't do the stream earlier because we were busy sorting out for a project that's filming.
She was busy being a shelf. Yeah, see, two can play at that. But yeah, one of the things actually, I've been, oh my word,
Oh, thank you so much,
I'm
Ian White.
so behind on the comments.
Guys,
Ian
you've been
White,
so generous tonight.
thank you ever so much, Ian White, for the very generous donation of £10 on the super chat. That is incredibly generous for you. Gosh, we're going to have the Class 35 done and dusted by the end of this.
Oh, so we've got an answer to that question, by the way. Richard Brighton says the alpha meter can read DC as well as DCC and AC, but only in one direction.
Ah, right. Interesting. Well, thanks for clarifying that. 1701, the Filed Flyer says, just bought brand new Bachmann Class 37 West Coast Railway in maroon with sound, £195 from Model Railways Direct. Happens wanted £250 for a pre-owned Baccy Class 37 with sound. Yeah, there's I guess sometimes it does pay to shop around. But yeah, that is quite a price difference. Mike Pringle, hi to you. Oh my word. Bagnall Dave says, what about having a run of customised body shell for the Grom? What you'll find is buying just the body shell is probably not that much different to buying the complete loco. If anything, yeah, I don't think it would offer any cost saving. Don Gets Model Railway, hi to you. John Nutman says, did I see a Class 20 going around? Yes, you do. Right, locomotives that are running. We've got a Waterman Railways Class 20, which you'll just be seeing coming round behind me. This is 20042. It's one of two that Bachmann did as a special edition For the this one was done for the London Toy Fair. The other one was done for the Collectors Club. I was very lucky to be able to pick up the first run, which I think is actually harder to find than the second. That is pulling a rake of tanker wagons, which includes a mix of Tanker Trader Classics, SO, both SO Black and SO Silver, and also it's got, I think, the weathered mobile tankers that were done as a special commission for Hereford Model Centre. And then we've also got two Class 25s that are shuttling using the DCC Concept Zen Black decoders with the ABC shuttle module.
You haven't got any open wagons going. I can't put a biscuit in and send it round here.
I wouldn't want you to put a blooming crummy biscuit in my... And like, when I say crummy, I mean full of crumbs getting everywhere. No, I'm good, but thank you. So we've got two Class 25s doing that. In fact, actually, 25095, I can't remember which Facebook group it was, but somebody posted some pictures of Vic Berry's scrapyard in the late 80s. And lo and behold, 25095 in the livery that Bachmann released her in was sat there looking very forlorn on the top of the pyramid, bogieless at the very top, and it looked like she'd suffered quite a bad fire, either a traction motor fire or something like that, because she was quite badly scalded up the body side. And also we've got 25052 as well. Now we've also got 3 A4s going round, so you will see Miles Beaver. I can't remember the name on the purple one. I'm sure Garthian will tell me what the purple one is. And then we've also got...
I'll read it when it comes round.
Andrew K. McCosh, which is pulling the Rails of Sheffield dynamometer cart round. So we've got 3 A4s. And I should have done the poll, but I completely forgot to do the poll. So I made an executive decision and went for an A4 fest. We haven't really done that. I have put it as an option on the poll in the past, and it has attracted quite a lot of votes, but not necessarily enough votes to make it to the theme.
Walter K. Wiggum.
Walter K. Wiggum, there we go.
That's the purple one. And Garthian said it in the chat at the same time. Also, people have found the TARDIS, by the way. You thought they wouldn't, but they did.
Oh, of course. No. I said that they might take a while, but there you go. The Doctor is moving now. So,
The
Wicked
Doctor is in
Insanity,
that
hi
house.
to you. John Nutman, you know, you're on camera when you do that. Gucci Lover, hello to you. Southern Train Girl, Hermitage Road, Pete Clark, Rule 1 Model Railways, Matt Ovell, who says I would have voted A4 anyway. Yeah, it was about time we had an A4
It's
session.
the best size of paper.
Hi to Leamington Station, J94, Josh's Train Room, Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase, Bangor U Junction, Carl Brond, Craig Douglas, Russell Benton, who asks, what's the coach at the end of the Miles Beaver train? Looks a bit different. Miles Beaver is actually the one which you'll just see very quickly. Yeah, that train just sliding out of view to the bottom of your screen. That is what Miles Beaver is pulling. Now the other one here is Andrew K. McCosh. That's pulling the Rails of Sheffield dynamometer coach. And the purple one, again, they're all Mark 1 coaches, with the exception when it comes round. In fact, let's go to this angle and see if we can just catch it. Here she comes. What you'll see is they're all Mark 1s except for a Gresley Buffet. Oh, we've just been bold. Ooh, oh no, here we are. There you are. There's the Gresley Buffet in blue grey. Now it's a model that Hornby did bring out probably about 10 years ago, actually. It's not that long after they brought out the all singing, all dancing Gresley coaches. And it's just something a little bit different for your blue grey trains having that Gresley Buffet. Now, what actually surprises me, the more I've looked into it, the more coaches I've actually found, coach types that were big 4 type coaches, which actually did last long enough to get blue grey. I always thought that by the time blue grey was getting painted on coaches, and they were just Mark 1s, but there was some Thompson brakes, corridor brakes, got blue grey. Stanier brakes definitely got blue grey. But there's a 6-wheel full brake, and I keep mentioning this. It's one which either Hattons or Hornby really do need to bring out. It's the only example that's turned up in photographs, and it was being used as a generator car to go with what in itself was quite an unusual coach, a London and North Western Railway cinema coach, which also got blue-grey. And I just think it is an obvious livery option for either Hornby or Hattons to do. Hi to Melchester Model Railway, George Botterini, James's Model Railway says, what decoders do you use and do you think that sound is worth it? Some sound is definitely worth it. So if we go to, let me try and find. So that's a sound chip that happens to be in Miles Beaver. So that's an A4 sound chip. But I find sound can get a little bit repetitive after a while. So I would say that sound is not the be-all and end-all. And actually, for a lot of occasions, it's reliable running. Now, Trainomatic, I use them a lot. They are very good decoders. Rails Connect, I've been very, very impressed with those of late because they feature, brownout protection, which is the same as what the DCC Concept Zen Black have. But actually, it's really, really useful, especially for short wheelbase locomotives. Now, Chief89 has very generously donated €2, says, for 1 or 2 homemade cups of coffee or so. Thank you
so much.
Ever so much. That is incredibly generous.
And we will be putting that toward coffees.
Indeed.
I've really been getting into my coffees. I'm missing being able to go to the coffee shop and work there for.
Well, that's why you've got all those weird coffees,
yeah,
haven't
so
you?
I've got those nice special ones.
Skipsy Train says, latest lockdown project. When I am better after last Thursday's eye operation, I have been challenged by John Barber to recreate a model of Rails of Sheffield in its new grey-blue colour scheme. Ooh, interesting. I look forward to that. Will Tucker says, Gresley buffets lasted into the mid-1970s. We've got Larry Rogers says, I think the A4 is a very good looking engine. David Watts says, Lidl has multimeters for a tenner at the moment for showing current usage, etc. They also have digital calipers for £8. Now, yes, the mystery aisle in Lidl is always a great place to go because you never know what's going to be there. But they do a lot of really interesting tools and gadgets.
Yes, one time we went in there for milk and came out with a trombone.
Richard Swiderski says TARDIS insiding near tunnel. Oh,
yep.
yes. So let's hide the Doctor's modesty so that the Doctor can move on. Garthian says TARDIS is too easy. Right. Clive Cobalt says, Jenny, some LMS sleeper got blue-grey livery. Interesting. Rule 1 Model Railway says, I'm getting some Lego Man Biffo sound chips and speakers this month. Yes, I have heard good things about the Lego Man Biffo stuff as well.
Who is this? Is he an actual Lego man?
I'm just trying to work out... Oh, it's my headphones. I'm trying to work out what on earth that was in shot. Now, you be careful over there.
I don't want to be careful. I want to be reckless.
Ruben Ashwell, hi to you. Josh's Railway Adventure says, speaking of liveries, did anyone see the 66 in rail freight construction livery? Yes, I did. It's an interesting photograph of that. They do actually suit some of these more classic BR era liveries. Large logo BR blue that one of them got painted in actually looks really good. So it's really interesting to see this. It's one of the ones that's come back from Europe. So it's interesting to see. Creeping Jane says Gresley buffet cars were also on the Woodhead line for the train that ran from Manchester to Harwich, I believe. Oh gosh. James's Model Railway, absolutely welcome. Julia Jones says, which sound chips are the best? Now, those of you who are a regular to the channel will know that I actually have a lot of time for some of the budget ones, like the Hornby TTS. I think they offer great value for money for what they are. Of course, they're not as good as some of the really expensive ones, but certainly for somebody starting out where money is tight, I think the difference between £35–40 for a sound chip and £120 for a sound chip, that does make a big difference. So, the Hornby TTS is almost pocket money prices, but the more expensive ones can, a lot more. Now, there's also soundtracks. They do a budget sound decoder that's sort of placed in the middle, and I quite like that, where it's got CV settings where you can change the sounds it plays. So it will be preloaded with, it's usually about 4 or 5 different locomotive types, and actually it's probably the most cost-effective way of getting a sound for a first generation DMU. Because the Hornby don't do a TTS one of those. It's also a really good Class 37 sound chip. Really do quite like it.
I've got to say hello to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Continuum Track. Hello there.
Hello. Great
Hello,
to
Captain.
see you. And don't forget to check out Zoe and the crew every Saturday night at it's 11 o'clock UK time.
11:30 UK time at the moment. But of course, that will change to next week when it's British summertime instead. So
Is,
we'll have
is
to
this
wait
the
and see
good
what
one where
happens.
we get an hour's lie-in, or is it the
No,
rubbish?
this is the bad one where they nick an hour.
So don't forget, everybody in the UK, and actually everybody around the world needs to know, because it means that the Monday Club next week will not be at the time you necessarily expect it to be. It's because we do this stupid British summertime thing where
We really should get rid of it. But last time we tried, someone speeded and knocked down a kid.
MGM says Happy National Pie Day, everyone.
Can I just ask one thing, Jenny?
No.
Why does that train on the corner keep slowing down?
I think it's dirty track. I don't know.
Dirty track. Dirty.
Andy Gamble says, as a huge DCC Concepts fan, I installed a Rails Connect 6-pin into a Dapol B4 this weekend. The decoder is a dream. Brilliant. Well done, DCC Concepts. Yeah, I've been very, very impressed with the Rails Connect decoders. I did a full review on those, and actually the way they work, the way they're designed, is essentially it has a lot of the features that went into the Zen Black decoders and the Zen Blue Plus decoder range. What it doesn't have is the ABC shuttle. So it doesn't matter whether you go from 6-pin up to 21-pin. The Rails Connect ones don't do ABC shuttle, but for a lot of people, for a lot of uses, you wouldn't need to use that. They also don't have the fly lead to be able to attach an external stay alive, which the Zen Black and the Zen Blue Plus all do. But in bigger locomotives, that quite often not necessary to add a stay alive. Say if you've got something like a Class 25, never really felt the need to add stay alives to them. They don't benefit from the extra performance. And what we proved in that comparison video was that when you take a very, very small shunting locomotive, the difference between a regular 6-pin decoder and the Rails Connect one, that brownout protection, which for want of a better simple explanation, is a very, very small stay alive. And it works so that if you get a little momentary lapse in the power or a bit of dirty track which alters the resistance to voltage, the chip doesn't reset and then go back through the startup, which was you saw the one with the other decoder in do, where it would stop, pause for a bit, and then slowly start to accelerate. The brownout protection stops that, so what you actually get is the decoder is much better able to handle dirty track, slightly poorly laid track, and insel frog points. I could see in my peripheral vision that you needed to say something.
Yes, Addy Pullen asks a very interesting question. He says, can you see Hornby or Rapido doing the Tiger, the sister locomotive to Lion?
How different was it? Now, what you got to remember is, if they were effectively clones of each other, give or take a few little tiny minor details, then yes, why not?
Yeah, because it wouldn't make much change.
Make good use of the tooling. But if they were radically different, what you've got to remember is that back in the early days of railways, a lot of things tended to be bespoke. They just they'd build it and tinker it and change it, and no two could be alike. Certainly coaches, pre-grouping coaches, especially when you get back to the era where we had 4- and 6-wheel coaches. One of the reasons that Hornby and Hattons have billed the models that they're doing as more generic is because there were so many different varieties. Locomotives would make like one or two, and then they'd tinker with the design, and there wasn't like a hard and fast formula for what a coach looked like or what its design was like.
To an extent,
and locomotives tended to be a bit like that. Standardization wasn't really in the vocabulary of a lot of engineers, it must say. Anoya Oriti says, excuse me, what loco are running now? So which loco? Right, we've got 3 A4 Pacifics. So we've got Andrew K. McCosh. I want to say Deputy Chief Wiggum, but what was the one that you...
Walter K. Wiggum.
Walter K. Wiggum. I just call it Police Deputy Chief Police Wiggum. We've got a Waterman Railways Class 20 as 20042 in that Waterman Railways livery black. We've got 2, they're actually Bachmann Class 25s shuttling using the Zen Black Decoder's ABC shuttle function. And yeah, that's everything. That should be, that's 6.
The Tiger is number 58, LMR number 58.
Right.
LMR number 57 being the Lion. They were a pair built together.
So I think it's a good chance that if Lion sells well, it would make sense to put it out as the other
Absolutely.
identity.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Stevie Film says, what? I'm going to miss out on pie tomorrow being in New Jersey? No, there's always time for pie. Egg Rider says, Miles Beaver became Chief Legal Advisor for London and North Eastern Railway in 1943, a post he held until the LNER was nationalised. The LNER, after they named Sir Nigel Gresley, the locomotive after Sir Nigel Gresley, a lot of the directors and high-up people in the London and North Eastern Railway kind of went, well, I want a locomotive named after me.
Well, why wouldn't you? You got one, I want one.
Yeah, so what you'll find is that like Miles Beaver, Walter K. Wiggum, Andrew K. McCosh, William Whitelaw is another one that springs to mind. A lot of them were actually renamed from ones that had like bird names, because there's also a lot of the A4 Pacifics. When they ran out of things like Golden Shuttle, Golden Fleece, Silver
Golden
King.
Delicious?
No. Silver King, Silver Link, things like that. After a while, there was a lot of head scratching, and they started naming them after birds. So we had Golden Plover, Seagull, Mallard, of course, type of bird. Things like that. Guillemot, Sea Eagle, I think, was another one. There's a Kingfisher. So there's all these different locomotives, and I think also there was a whole bunch that were named after parts of the British Empire. So we had the Dominion of New Zealand, Dominion of Canada.
Don't forget the big wet bit.
Yeah, there was Commonwealth of Australia, Dominion of New Zealand, Union of South Africa. So there was like quite a variety of names, and then of course we had Dwight D. Eisenhower, which was named after the wartime American president. No, actually, no, he wasn't the wartime American president. He was the wartime general who became president.
Yes, the only one that wouldn't wear a military uniform.
Yeah, even though he was fully entitled to, having been a real general.
Yes, well, as Commander-in-Chief, they're all entitled to. But he didn't want to.
Route 7 Railway says, Miles Beaver was formerly Kestrel. McCosh was Osprey, and Police Chief Wiggum was Sea Eagle. Wicked Insanity says, you and Zoe are fun, Jenny. Oh,
well, we try.
Pete Clark says, Lego Man, he went to pieces.
Yeah, but you're far behind, Biff.
He fights back though, because sometimes you might accidentally step on when he goes to pieces and you step on him. It really hurts.
Oh yes, they go for you.
There's only one thing more painful than stepping on an errant block of Lego in bare feet, and that is to step on an upturned plug in bare feet. Ooh. Ooh, ouchie.
Well, in terms of emotional pain, stepping on one of your locomotives would be quite high up.
Logan Clary says, standardisation, I have no understanding of the word. It does not register in my vocabulary bank. Continuum tracks. Time is a dimension we cannot occupy. We simply manipulate the matter in the dimensions available for us to progress as time passes. Deep and
Guardian says,
meaningful.
Zoe, are you feeling better this week? I was worried about you last week. Yes, I'm much better, thank you.
You've got Robot Monkey. We've got somebody called Robot Monkey in the
A
comments.
Robo Monkey! Yes! Now all we need is a Monkey Butler to complete the trifecta.
Jay says Union of South Africa. Yeah. Ruben Ashel says I thought it was called Dominion of Canada. Probably was. James Pets, hi to you. Tony Northeastern says, well done, Jenny. A few more and you will have got through the fleet of A4s. I think it's about 35, something like that. There were a lot of them. And I own, it's either 7 or 8. I'm not entirely sure, actually. But I do like A4s. The one which I do really want is Silver King 60016. In BR Early Crest Green, because that's the one that I had as a child. I still got it, actually. It's downstairs, but I've got the Hornby 001. I would love a super duper detail model of that. Are you trying to get my attention?
Yes, we have a question from Iron Horse Heathen.
Okay.
Jenny, what was the biggest mistake you made in relation to either building or laying out your own layout?
That's a toughie.
It is a toughie because you've made so many mistakes over the years.
Well, no,
it's how you learn.
Right, but one thing I will.
Go on then.
One of the things I will say is that when you build a model railway, and this is not my first rodeo, so you kind of learn from your mistakes as you go on. So with this layout, I have rectified a lot of the previous faults. One thing that I always find is that no matter how many continuous tracks that you lay after you've built the layout, certainly for me, I look at it and go, well, if I'd have had a little bit of track just there, I could have run an extra train continuously. And right, I can run 4 trains continuously on this layout. And the bottleneck is actually, if I go to this camera, the bottleneck is where we run past this camera. I could have laid quite easily another little bit of track through there, through the tunnel and to the yard and run an extra train continuously. But that's probably the only thing that I would have changed, and maybe made the fiddle yard underneath a little bit more accessible. But they're only like minor niggles. In the past, it's usually been to do with electrics, or baseboard construction. Certainly when we go way back to very early layouts, it's where I tend to make mistakes. We used to make a lot of mistakes. But yeah, I can't really think of anything. What do you think?
In terms of mistakes, I think every mistake you've made, you've learned from, and that's true of most people, because that's how you get better. Mistakes
are actually a really great way of learning.
If you ever look at your layout and think it's perfect, especially if it's your first ever layout, then you aren't learning.
Robert Ward says, Jenny and Zoe, no whack-a-day hammer. I do.
No, she's got a pointy proddy stick instead.
Right. That's enough of that. Come on, everybody.
Not fair.
Yeah.
But there was one big mistake that you always meant to get solved and then never got round to, which you only see when you're putting the camera directly onto the track.
What now?
Down near
yes, I need to
switches.
fix that. There's like it looks like a join, but it's not. It's just where the static grass is kind of got an edge, but it looks. Certain camera angles looks like a join.
Yes. Well, Van Gogh's got an error that no one's picked up on. Jenny, the one mistake you made on your layout was letting Zoe into the loft.
Yes, Zoe with her baggy. Actually, you remember in Bolton Trinity Road, I would always wear like a baggy cardigan, and you would demolish the same signal time and time again.
Well, it's not my fault that you keep putting it back. Obviously, it was in the wrong place.
Darren R asks, do you know anybody local to Manchester who repairs locos? Many thanks. I would suggest the Loco Shed at Whitefield. I do believe that they offer a locomotive repairing service. Don't quote me on that. Don't go in there and go, well, Jenny said you do that.
Yeah, you do.
But I seem to recall that they did loco repairs, certainly back in the day, so maybe worth giving them a call. But a lot of model shops are quite good at certainly doing routine type repairs and servicing, so it's always worth checking them out. James Pett says, glad that Zoe is better. I disapprove of people being ill. I do as well, because they're a terrible nuisance when they moan and complain. But we've got 381 people in the chat. Don't forget to tickle that like button and share the stream as well to social media. Let other people know that we are on, and everybody is welcome. And if you haven't already done so, do consider subscribing to the channel. And if you ring that bell, you may be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. It all depends on what kind of a mood YouTube is in. Patrick Webb says, hello from Indiana. Hello to you. Let's have a look.
We've got an interesting question from Chief 89 here. He's randomly wondering what's going on your layout. Is it UK based only, or do you also have some international locomotives and wagons that are going around?
It's actually, I've just done a review on a whole load of tanker cars that were very, very kindly sent by American Limited Models, and we filmed the review on that. That's going to be going out not this week, but next week on, I think it's the Wednesday.
Yeah, I've still got a photograph.
So that's going to be a really, really great video. It's really interesting to see some of the, what's to us overseas rails, but US outline stuff. Had them running up here on Weir Yard, and I do hope to do more of that kind of thing. I've got a real interest in especially US outline and Australian outline railways, and it is something that I do really want to do more of in the future, including, as I've said before, doing some kind of a project build, probably around like a working diorama to showcase American locos and rolling stock, and just kind of use a lot of the scenery techniques that I borrowed from American US railroad modelers, and kind of, you know, make a US style scene.
I have a question for you of my own. I'm thinking of how to do that project I was talking to you about, the London Underground.
Okay.
And how to put it into something that could be carried around. So I was thinking, you know, all those box files, now that I'm not on the council anymore, we have a load of box files that are spare. Would it be, is it too small a thing, a box file, for a 00 gauge layout? Would I have to go end scale to get the space to allow it to run realistically?
I've seen some incredible box file layouts in 00, but what you have to understand is you're essentially limited to what in effect is a very, very small diorama. So
well, that's exactly what I'm fancying doing, because I'm not going to sit and build a massive model railway. I just want to, I'm very much the modeler side of things rather than railways. So what I'm really interested in is the diorama, and having the train go back and forth would just be a bonus, really. So would I have the space?
Does the train have to be there? Because couldn't you just build a diorama that would be part of the tunnels in a London Underground station? You know, where you've got the sort of like the maze of tunnels, you'll have buskers there, things going on. Why do you need the train?
Well, I was thinking that as it opens up, the box file, the bit at the front would have the train track and allow trains to run.
Yeah, you could do something like that. But yeah, I've seen some great box file layouts in 00, but they tend to be like a little corner of an industrial thing, where you just literally have one bit of track and you can shuffle a train in and out. But I find stuff like that, it's great to build, boring to operate.
Well, that was I always like the idea of I like stuff that's really small, because I was a big fan of micro machines. I had the micro machine city that folded up into a toolbox.
Yeah,
and things like that.
I could see
I
you
love that kind of thing. So that's what the kind of idea I have with the building a little diorama. I'm not really interested in it moving about too much. I just want to build the thing.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, maybe. Right, let's have a look at some more of the comments. Madden Steam Railways, it's absolutely wonderful to have the Monday Club to watch on a Monday evening. It's very entertaining with you and Zoe chatting with us all. Thank you ever
thank
so
you.
much.
That's what we try to do.
Garthian says, I have 6 A4s. Sir Nigel Gresley, that's one I don't have actually. Walter K. Wiggum, I've got that. Says Garganet, I think that should be Gannet.
Gargamel.
Mallard, Bitten and Quicksilver, latter 2 being the Daypol products. Of course, yes, the Daypol Black Label. I did ask Daypol about what?
The Growler Blackwood Engaged layout says, I'm watching while baseball building, but I made a schoolboy error. I've cut my legs too short. The second I saw that, I thought, he's made a schoolboy error. He's cut into his own leg.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, as long as you did both, then at least you're not walking around lopsided. I'll do the noise. The Unfamiliar Terrier 48, big hello to you, says Jenny, how are you and Cupboard Monkey? We're pretty good, thank you. Hythe Kent asks Jenny, how much time do you think you've spent ballasting and is it boring? I don't find ballasting boring. I find it quite relaxing. I know some people don't enjoy it, but there are tools you can get, like the Pro's ballast hopper that you fill with ballast and push it along the track, and it does make ballasting really quite easy. I've probably spent a good few hours up here doing all the ballast, but what you've got to remember, there's some like 200 yards of track that is ballasted up here. It's a lot of track. I don't find it boring. Some people do, though. I do know some people do find it boring. David Watts says a model railway is a living organism. It is never finished. Absolutely right. Yes, you never truly finish a model railway. There's always something that you're tinkering with. And Weiryard as well is one of those things where, certainly with the War World Scenics range, I've very, very kindly sent for review a whole load of the static grass applicators and the static grass scatters, flower material, things like that. And I was an instant convert. The War World Scenic static grass system is amazing. Really love it. And you can see across the model that I've kind of gone back and reinvigorated the grass with the static grass. And it's made a huge difference. So don't think that when you do a bit of a model that's how it must always look. There's nothing wrong with going back and adding to a previously done bit of your model railway, and I find that really quite fulfilling.
Oh.
I mean, what?
According to Roger Wollaston, Scale Model Scenery does a diorama layout.
Yes, they do. Scale Model Scenery do. It's sort of like a module thing that you can then build a model railway into.
Interesting.
Which is a great idea, and I think it's laser cut MDF. I think. Don't quote me on that. But again, a really, really great way of building a small model railway. Because I know a lot of people, the bits that they hate or are most frightened of, baseboard construction. Well, Scale Model Scenery have got you covered for that. We do have a link in the description box down below. Do go and check them out for the full range. As we said at the beginning of the live stream, there's an awful lot of different products there, covering not just O, but they also do O gauge, N gauge, HO, all the different bits and pieces, everything from detailing, scratch building, materials to help you with all of that, through to full-on kits. There's so much stuff there. It is worth going and check them out after the stream, of course, and have a browse of what they got to offer. But yeah, the baseboard type thing is a really great idea. Are you all right?
Yeah. And there's a guy in the chat saying that we didn't answer his question. So I'm going to say this for him and for everyone. Sometimes the chat moves too quick for us to see a question or for Jen to be able to answer it. It doesn't mean that we're missing you out or that we're ignoring you. Ask the question again if it hasn't been answered and the chat seems to have moved on. That's perfectly fine. Ask again.
I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right up to date. So we've got Gwian Reese Davies says, yes, laser cut MDF. I'm using them for my micro layout and they are amazing. So there you are. Don't just listen to me, listen to a customer testimonial. And like I said, we've got the link in the description box
What's
down
that?
below.
Don't listen to you, okay?
Naive Gauge asks, how do you know when to abandon an unfinished layout and start the new one? I don't know. Sometimes it's it's not because you grow bored or weary with the layout.
I grew weary of this
But
layout.
it's because you want to do something completely different. So, for example, I did my Welsh narrow gauge layout, Myneth Tatus. I built that as a separate layout, not because I was bored with Weiryard, but simply because I wanted to build something completely different. Now, I can see, if you wanna, the cupboard monkey is being annoying. So,
Jen, get back on with what you were saying. Something about a mini full of turkeys.
yeah, it's a great idea to be able to do something just a little bit different, which if it's completely out of keeping, out of style with what you're currently doing, then it's not a bad thing to go and do something completely different. I mean, I'm going to be doing hopefully a US outline model, and I think that that would be something really, really good, which isn't going to replace Weiryard. But hold on just one moment, let me get that before it derails. Right, sorry about that.
We've got an interesting statement here. Barry Turner says, some good news from Hornby's head of brand, referencing a conversation of their R247 into an optical gauging measuring wagon. That might appear in their Signal Box social media.
Oh, right.
I'm assuming you know what one of those is.
I do, actually. It's a particular a device that fires lasers. Lasers. All I asked for was some fucking laser beams.
Lasers.
Throw me a bone here, people. But yeah, actually, I do know what it is. It's basically for measuring clearances. Very, very. No. Oh, it's that laugh, isn't it?
Oh, you're wanting a.
No! Oh, for God's sake! Oh, do I have to spell it out? Oh no, apparently. Yeah, we got there in the end.
I'm just annoying you.
Right, John Nutman says, Jenny, what is the weight of the 03, the Bachmann version you have on the layout? The weight, well, we've got a class 3 here. They are actually, the Bachmann class 3s are reasonably heavy. I wouldn't like to guess what actual weight it is, but it's a reasonable weight. They have crammed it full of extra ballast weights where they can. Also, incidentally, I think if we go to this angle, I completely forgot to mention, just here you'll see a Hudswell Clark long tank locomotive in NCB green, all weathered up. I must draw attention to this. I've just filmed a full review of this model. You may remember Nwins 3D. We've reviewed a number of their models before, and their Hudswell Clark long tank locomotive. Very similar, not quite the same, but very similar to number 67 and 70 that worked on the Manchester Ship Canal Railway. It's modelled on an NCB locomotive that does still exist, and it's designed to be a direct replacement body for the old style Hornby Daypole Terrier, which is a great way of extending the life of a model which probably, if you're like me, you've replaced with the all-new Rails of Sheffield and Hornby Terriers, and you've got a number of the old-style Terriers you're not quite sure what to do with. Nwins 3D has come up with a great new way of making really good use of those chassis. So look out for that. We've got that coming. It's either next Friday or the week after. I can't remember actually.
You've made so many videos over the last few weeks.
I've been building up a buffer so that when I start work at DCC Concepts, I'm not then sort of having to juggle lots of things, because I'm going to be having to learn all the ropes and stuff, so that so that I don't sit there and go, I don't know what the answer to your question is. Go and ask Richard.
Or the thing that I'm dreading. Ring, ring. Zoe, how do you do this? On your editing. So, I actually do like what the Nwins 3D stuff's doing.
Yeah.
It's bringing in interesting models that no one else is going to touch. Really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it shows that, actually, a fair amount of the stuff that people are saying, oh, I wish we could do this. I would buy one, but probably no one else would. Now is an opportunity because you can get a 3D printer, or you can get the thing sent to them and get this thing that is like you'd have a run of 10 and that would be it.
It's a great way of actually doing something a bit different. Right, Ben Tullett says, Jenny, I found out that during Hornby's website update, they've relocated the steampunk range to its own separate dedicated website now, so all the steampunk fans head there. Definitely, yeah, and I think it's, I know that there's a lot of people who basically don't understand that if you don't like something, don't buy it. Don't just then spend every opportunity to bash it and moan about it online, because it's like, don't really care what you think. You've already told us you don't like it. That's fine. Move on. Nothing to see here. So I think by separating it out, it kind of, out of sight is out of mind to some of the people who are like a stuck blooming record. And, you know, the steampunk range, if you don't like it, then you just have to say to yourself, it's not aimed at me. Nobody's putting a gun to my head saying, you must buy steampunk. It's there if that's your kind of thing. And that kind of thing is a lot of people's kind of thing.
There's something for everyone. That's what we want to see at the end of the day. Something for everyone. You don't have to buy everything. So, Jen, there's a few people have dropped in at this point, and they're saying, could you go over the news again?
The news,
for those who missed it.
For those who missed it at the start, in the news, we have got Flangeway's salmon engineering wagon has been retooled. Now, did bring this to you in the news a little while back, that actually there was a big boo-boo. The wagon, the EP, turned up and it's about 2 centimetres too short, which is a huge amount. You're talking about it being a scale, the equivalent of just over 1.5 meters too short. That's like this long. That is quite noticeable.
Yes.
Now, what they've said is that you know, they're only human. It's clearly should have been picked up, wasn't picked up, got through to EP stage, which is the engineering prototype. They are now completely retooling. The wagon will still be coming out, and so that is going to be on its way. We've also had the Rails Connect range, the announcement that has been expanded with a range of point motors, either surface mounted, side mount point motors, or under point types. Now these are designed to basically be a like for like equivalent to the Pico PL10 and the Pico PL11 type point switch motors, solenoid pit switch motors, but these are being made out of incredibly high grade materials. We're talking about stainless steel. They are bulletproof, reliable, they draw a lower current, and they also feature easier to use mounting holes to make it much easier to line these up and get them working first time every time. They also are doing a range of decoders modules to go with them to be able to not just change the point, which you can do either manually through a switch, so you can effectively leech the power to charge the CDU that is built into the board through the DCC bus, and then you have a switch, your ordinary switch, like these type switches. You can hear that flicking there. Those type switches, that will operate it, or you can also program it as an accessory decoder. It also provides frog polarity changing as standard. It gives you an LED light out for your something like your control panel LED to tell you where your points are set to, and you probably can use that as well for like color aspect signals interlocked with your points if you're creative enough. So there's a lot of functionality to these, and they are being made for Rails Connect by DCC Concepts, so it's a brand you can trust, and you know it will be well made and designed for ease of use. Now, my brain's just suddenly froze. I know that there was other news, and I can't remember it. I should write this down, shouldn't I?
Yes.
So, if anybody else is aware of something that I should be talking about in the news, then do put it in the comments.
The comments at the moment are talking about how they were a little bit upset that the steampunk models came out of the people and they weren't painted.
Yes, I saw that because all of the photos when they first announced the range, showed them painted.
Yes.
And I thought that was a bit of an own goal. It's a crying shame in an.
I can kind of see why they did it and why they shouldn't have at the same time.
Possibly, if you're going to show them painted, then at least release them painted.
Release an option for them painted.
Yeah, I know. There's Pico, the model scene. They do them in both painted and unpainted, guys.
Yeah, because I can understand some people are going to want to paint them themselves. They're going to want to make them exactly like they want. But a lot of people would think, well, this stuff is ready to run, and those people aren't.
Definitely, yeah. Right, let's have a look. What else have we got? Good evening, Ewood Railway. Will Tucker as well says, will there be a bumper bundle of layout videos tonight? Yes, there will be, because we weren't able to show...
I'm not sure if it's a bumper bundle, but we have some.
The Unfamiliar Terrier 48 says, what is your favourite model you'd recommend? I always recommend La France, the H1 Atlantic from Bachmann. I know that Rails of Sheffield, certainly last time I looked, do still have some in stock. And there's also the H2 Atlantic as well, number 422. That has recently come out. Did a full review of that. Check out the channel. Those two I always recommend because they're such lovely liveries. I also recommend, what else do I really recommend? Oh, the Class 07 Shunters from Hellion. They are amazing. Love that model. Currently, Rails of Sheffield, again, have them on sale. If you check out my Class 07 review videos, there's a link there as well to help you to find them. And if you can get your hands on the Hellion Class 16, that is an amazing sleeper hit in my book. It passed underneath the radar for me when it first came out, but I finally managed to pick one up, and it is an incredible model. Really is. Ray Burble says, I still have to figure out what I'm going to use for switch machines. Only 6 of the 30 are currently electric, the rest are manual. You do have quite a range on the market, but certainly it might be worth checking out the new Rails Connect range. I think they're due out at the end of April. They do look to be quite good. Let's have a look. James's model railway says, do like shuttles, they look so cool. What do you recommend, Jenny? Many thanks. Well, I'm using the ABC shuttle from DCC Concepts. This works in conjunction with their Zen Black a decoder range, and actually they're really quite simple to set up. You'll see
you seem to get straight to grips with it. I was very amazed, and also they just run. There doesn't seem to be a problem with them at all.
Yeah, I've had no issues setting them up, and so I'm a bit of a techno Luddite. I must admit this. I'm not great with electronics. I kind of muddle my way through. So the way I look at it is I'm basically the when something's made idiot-proof, what they actually mean is they make it so I can use it. And they were so simple to install. If I can manage it not once, not twice, but thrice, then anybody can. Really easy to install. And as you can see with these models just shuttling about, really quite effective as well. There are other ABC type modules on the market. I believe Lens do one, Trainomatic do one. But the one that I've actually got to work has been the DCC Concepts one. And as I said in the review video for that, I did do a review video. You can check that out, go and have a look through my channel. They add extra functionality to a model railway where you don't have to sit there and sort of shunt manually using your DCC controller. It's quite literally a case that you can, if you've got a section of track, you can set a train to just shuttle up and down, and it's, you know, for people like me who just like to sit back and watch trains run, it really is great. Now somewhere in here, in fact, yeah, you can see now coming into shot, there's the Class 25 over here. That's on the ABC shuttle, and you're about to see as well over here another one shuttling, and they'll just do that until you do something else with them. And they're on tracks that trains wouldn't normally run through, so they don't interfere with the stuff that's running. But you can also use them in other ways. It's not just getting trains to do this. You can use the ABC shuttle modules to so that trains can stop at stations, wait for a bit, and then keep going in the direction that they were going in anyway. So they don't have to reverse. You can also interlock them with the points. You can have them set up so if a point is set against the locomotive, it will slow down and stop and wait for the point or the signal to change before it goes again. So there is a lot you can do with the ABC modules, and because they're set using jumpers on the board, they are ridiculously easy to set up, and because it's physically hard jumpered, they don't forget their settings, which is really, really useful. Right. Let's have a look. Dean Fielding, hi to you. Rule 1 Model Railway says, I went double O gauge, I'm afraid, for the latest build. I went to the dark side, but still have N gauge featuring regularly.
You can actually use N gauge and double O together for forced perspective.
Ah, right. Egg Rider says, some news from this week. Hellion provided updates on the OO gauge AEC rail cars. Definitely, yes. Right, these, I believe, are slightly different to the ones that Dapol did. So they're not a direct competitor to the Dapol model. And there was 2 types of rail cars that the GWR introduced. Some had, the ones that Dapol did are the sort of the curvy ones. The ones that Hellion are doing are the very angular AEC ones. So really looking forward to those. The Dapol models were a great model. So it'll be interesting to see how the Hellion model stands. Now, one of the other things as well I need to clarify, I know that there's been a lot of debate over the Class 25s from Hellion, excuse me, with the weathered versions. It's not all the ones, and certainly we're going to be doing a review of the Hellion Class 25. Hellion have promised to send me a review sample, and I'm kind of hoping actually that they send me one of the weathered ones. Because I think it would be quite useful to be able to show the weathering off, because they're not all got problems. I know that there's been a lot of publicity surrounding some of the weathering examples, which look like somebody at the factory's got all their fingerprints in it. But I understand it's not the full batch, and certainly I've seen photographs showing some really good examples of the factory weathering. So it would be nice to be able to showcase them as well. Roof Railways asks, Jenny, will you carry on with the Monday Club if lockdown ends? If so, could make it the monthly Monday Club so it only runs once a month. I've got no plans to change the frequency. I think doing it every week is great. So as
I don't think we could possibly get you to stop doing it weekly. You love it too much.
I do actually really enjoy it. Hi to Creeping Jane, Flymo Chairman, Wonderful, excellent, yeah, good point. Jenny McKirk, Monday Club Facebook group, shared a link to that, absolutely great. And Garthian says, Bala and Festiniog Heritage Railway AGM will be via Zoom again on the 10th of April. Members will be sent a link via email before the start of the AGM. But though Jay actually points out, Games Workshop often showcase figurines painted, whilst actually they usually become unpainted. I believe that is correct, but the thing about Games Workshop is that that's what you expect.
You expect them, yes.
Yeah, it's a bit like Airfix. You expect it to be a kit that you have to build and paint, but it shows the completed thing on the box. With these, it wasn't made clear. It was implied that they would be like, ta-da, here they are, ready to go. And when they turned up, it was like, oh, they're not painted. Josh's Railway Adventures. Hellion showed off the O-Gauge 73 in CAD stage last week. Yes, they did. And I should make a note, actually. Part of the problem is I've been doing prep for filming a TV series. Now, tomorrow, I'm doing a day of filming, and I had to prep a load of stuff. Because basically I'm making the props, and it's taken a lot longer than I thought, so I haven't been able to prep for the Monday Club. I basically had about half an hour between finishing what I was doing down there and coming up here and start doing the Monday Club. So I haven't written it down, but yes, Hellion have showed off a lot of CADs. So we've seen the Class 73 in O-Gauge. Looks really, really great. I know quite a few of the retailers have been sharing these as well. We've also seen, I think there's a clarification on the delivery dates for the D class through Rails of Sheffield, and that is now looking to be, I think it's May. And also Oxford Rail, this is one that may have slipped under your radar. We're still waiting on the J27. Now we've had updated delivery times for these, and I believe we're looking at May or June for the J27 now. And I've seen a post from Scott Rhodes where he did say that there's been some delays, but production is getting back into swing after Chinese New Year. But there is, of course, still a few issues lingering with COVID restrictions in terms of social distancing, that kind of thing. So we do have a new update. The J27 is coming along, but it's actually massively delayed. I think it was originally supposed to be out sort of December 2019, but it's coming along, and I'm really, really interested to see how that turns out. Certainly, it's a excuse me. It is a model that is 100% on my radar. Right. Right. Don't forget to tickle the like button, share the stream too, and let's have a look. What else have we got here? Oh gosh, Fly My Chairman 1 beat me to it. Ham Shackleton says, video URLs to zoe.robinson.com. Not the video, just the URL, otherwise you jam up the email system. Hey, people have got this really good, haven't they? They know the score.
Yes, and someone was asking why we don't have some on-train action.
Are you going to put it in that wagon?
So,
facing backwards.
I'm going to explain why. We have this here. It's the SQ13 mini DV camera. It's really, really good. We use this a fair amount because it's tiny and it fits in a carriage.
When you see the onboard footage of Weir Yard in some of the trains going by videos, that's what it's filmed with.
Our problem, however, is that it doesn't broadcast live on a thing that we can connect to while streaming, because we would have to switch networks. For your computer doesn't connect to Wi-Fi and to networked.
Why not put it facing backwards?
Because it hasn't got a memory card in it. I want to explain what we're doing. Basically, you can get a live feed off one of these cameras. These are really good. And I'm looking at a video. I actually picked up this information from a guy called Vintage 80s Loft Model Railway, who got the idea for getting one of these cameras from New Junction, who I think may have got it from you. So it's kind of a circular thing.
I know New Junction is watching this. He's ballasting some tracks, so they're going like, oh, my ears are burning. I wouldn't like to say that he got the idea from me.
That's not what I'm saying. I think he may have got the idea for this particular camera from you, not from just doing that stuff. And it seems like a circular thing. This guy has worked out that there is a URL you can go to that this broadcasts to. But you'll have to be on its own Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah.
So the way we could get live stuff is for me on this computer to be attached to that stream and watching it. And then have my HDMI out going into a video input socket.
It's complicated.
And then do it that way. So basically we can't do it unless I put extra wires in and make Jenny promise not to press anything. And that's the problem.
Right, anyway. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, White Wall Wheels 1 Hardcore MOH has new smoke generators that use water to give you real steam. Yeah, I did see these. However, the owner of the company did not endear themselves to me by rather childishly being quite rude about me in a thread, because he thought he was hanging with the cool kids. So I won't name that company because they, quite frankly, were very unprofessional in the owner of the company. I suppose they're quite rude comments, to the point where I know that it actually had to be moderated, and it's like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to do that, I'm not going to advertise your product for you.
Yeah.
Don gets
the thing to remember is it's rule number one of being someone running a company. You can't be rude on main.
On what?
On main. It's a thing from Twitter. the idea of horny on main, where someone starts trying to chat someone up, and it turns out they've forgotten to switch from corporate account to personal account. They call it horny on main, and it's the same thing with being rude. You just can't do it. If you have to be an idiot, which you shouldn't have to be, but if you have to be an idiot, do it on a throwaway account.
So he said the light above me is too bright. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Bright light, bright light, bright light. Now you're just completely covered in lights.
Unfortunately, we're. Yeah, Daz in 1977 says, I'm thinking the light above Jenny too bright. Yeah, I must sort that.
Clive Douglas has a good comment about how to set up. If you're using something like these little cameras, which are brilliant, put them in a little wagon, and you'll get a great.
I'm still waiting for you to put a memory card in that so we can send it. We're
not going to, because there's already a video. He says, I tend to put the camera on a separate train, then run it just in front of the other train.
The chase cam.
Yes, you get a great look where essentially your camera is smoothly following the train.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Right,
Clive Cobalt says, Jenny, the Hellion Class 86 electric locomotives are due in 2 weeks. Yes, definitely. And I'm really looking forward to those. Again, I'm getting more and more into my AC electrics. The Class 85 from Bachmann is a great locomotive. The Class 87 from Hornby, the new retooled... Also, I've got hiccups. Missed out on that. I was a little bit disappointed to have missed out on that because that looked to be a great model. It was delivery I wanted. They are still available, but just delivery I wanted I missed out on. The Class 86 Hellion have released this previously, but this I believe is the backdated version, so this is good for actual BR Blue era. So this is perfect. Really looking forward to these. So they're coming out hot on the heels of the Class 25s. Robert Ward asks, Jenny, with Enwin's 3D models, are they available from them directly? Yes, they are. If you go to the Enwin's 3D website, you can order them there. And if there is an option to tell them that I sent you, then do so, because it, they've sent. Oh, I don't know why I've got my hand over here tapping it, because you can't see it on the camera angle. If I go to that. So it is a really, really useful way of making use of those old Terrier chassis. So I'm going to hold it up actually. So there it is.
It looks great.
It does, and this is sort of painted up and weathered.
And just imagine, when 3D printing first started, everything that was produced looked granular and not great.
The resolution is getting really, really
better.
better.
Wonderful. Hello to Sir Patrick Furlong. How are you doing?
Yeah, Dongit's Model Railway says, Jenny, now tie ABC modules to block occupancy detectors, then you can run more than one train per loop. We're getting complex there. Getting complicated for me. I'm not great with electronics, but yes, you can do stuff like that. Garthian says, my Hellion Class 25 will be sent to me on Thursday. Had to wait until I had the money for it to be dispatched. Bob Griffin says, hello from Canada, Monday Clubbers. It's great to see you. I hope you're well. Ewood Railway says, got my KDs uncoupling magnet. Wondering if you can cut them to make them shorter. They still work. If you cut a magnet, you just end up with two smaller magnets. They don't lose their magnetism.
Yes, we haven't yet developed the technology for magnetic monopoles. Whoever does will get the Nobel Prize. It is on the cards. We do want that.
Samuel Headington says, hi Jenny, did you ever think about doing a video on fitting working smoke generators and lights to the front of a steam locomotive? I have having gold sound fitted RU1 model's own sister engine. I've thought about it. It's certainly something which I think will come in time, but in terms of... you're all right, Dan.
I'm trying my best to try and plug this in. But...
Do you want me to plug it in?
Yes, please.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm just knocking you... Oh, I've got space now.
No, we don't want to remove that. Wow.
I've got space now.
Yes. Just, right.
Keep going.
Whilst the cupboard monkey destroys the joint.
Okay.
So yeah, it's something that maybe in the future, but not... I don't think they're quite there yet. Stephen Cameron says, I'm like the apes around the monolith at the start of 2001 when it comes to electronics. Yes, I'm one of the other apes, and we're just sort of like banging bones together.
Which ape?
Skip
the one
says,
that works things out, and the other ones.
Skip says, hello again from old Alabama, home of them thar country hillbillies, y'all. Oh, excellent. Great to see you. Daz in 1977, he thought about putting... Oh, right. I'm well behind here. I'm gonna scoot up to date. Big hello to Codismore says, yes, the Cube cameras. I regret giving New Junction my Cube camera. I haven't seen it back since he stole my idea.
Everyone's taking credit for the Cube cameras.
Yeah, but hey, we had the Action Cam years ago, which was a Panasonic HX1.
I still use it.
Yeah, the problem with our original on-train camera that we were using like nearly 10 years ago to get some amazing footage is that its refresh rate's not compatible with the LED lighting that we use up here. J. Paul Anderson says F Argent. Oh, oh no!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Someone came in and was going on about the Falkland Islands. You're welcome. We don't care where you're from. Everyone's welcome. That's how we work here. And if you're a fan of model railways, you're welcome here.
Right.
Don't bring your politics.
Yeah. Barry Turner says news required Churchwood OO gauge loco, 32.5 ton HBA hopper in O gauge. TEA weathered tankers, BBA double bogey wagons, I think the BLA as well. Class 73 O gauge and the Flangeway 25mm too short, working to resolve the issue, aka, ooh, we're gonna have to retool it. Right, Southern Train Girl. Says Mark Eric, ask your questions here in the chat.
Jen,
yes?
would you mind just having a look and seeing why that hasn't come up on the thing? Oh, sorry about this, guys. Jen was asking me to show you some footage of the camera going, and it doesn't seem to want to give us the footage.
I'll try it in a different port. Right, try there. It's right.
Yes, we got it. Hats in air. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Right. New Junction, big hello to you. I knew he was there. I knew his ears would be burning. I steal something on every visit. Your workshop has always been full of goodies. Well, when are you going to come and... Whoa. What on earth?
I'm getting it set up.
Oh, is this... I thought this footage is already on this computer, isn't it?
No, funnily enough, it's not.
Haven't we shown this before?
We have, but would you like to show it again?
Okay. Well, somebody was saying about on-train footage.
Yes.
So,
now, this is footage directly from this camera, the SQ13.
So, if I go to Just Browser and you hit play, this is a side-on view. You can actually see the shadow of the camera there.
Yes, you can.
This was recorded a little while ago.
So you'll notice...
Yeah, the fence isn't quite complete down there. Or is it? Actually, yeah, it does look okay. So there's certain bits of the model which have changed since then.
Yeah, and also you've got more pictures up on the roof.
Was this done during a Monday Club?
Yes.
So you can actually see there's a Class 43 running the shuttle. And you get quite a fisheye view.
You do. You also see the Monday Club on the background, on the monitor. So this is the quality of picture you get from this.
Yeah.
It's actually really good for this kind of
It is,
thing.
yeah. We're about to, like, oh look, it's a wall.
Yeah, people said sound was on. I did turn it off, sorry about that.
Yeah, so
But,
was this segment sponsored by Billy's Replacement
I don't know.
Speakers?
But this thing is, it's so good.
It is, really enjoying this. Iron Horse Heathen says, Jenny, have you any recommendations for fitting updated wheel sets to older diesel locomotives? Lima and Hornby, etc. The flanges are too large and sometimes catch the frogs on modern points. Is it Alan Gibson wheels would probably be a good port of call. But also, I'm trying to think. You might be able to get spare wheels from the likes of Hornby or Bachmann, which might be able to be used, but try Alan Gibson wheels. I think that's probably a good port of call. Penna Lane TMD says, any news on the Dayport Class 59? I've not seen anything. Doesn't mean that there isn't any news. But certainly, look at me there, procrastinating. This is actually quite a while ago now. But
Yeah.
that's an on-train view running on the top part of Weir Yard. But
And as you can
facing
see,
backwards.
it's such a smooth one that it's the chase cam. The idea,
yeah,
you have two
well,
trains.
you
on
could imagine a
parallel
train
tracks.
following this.
Oh yes, that would work as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
can do
that's
all
in the
kinds of
tunnel.
things. It's so these things. If you want to make
Yeah.
videos
Oh gosh,
of
look,
your layout,
look on the left. I've completely redone that area. Gosh, this
you
is like,
have.
yeah, a walk back in time.
But what I'm saying is, if you want to make videos on your trains, this is the type of camera to get. It doesn't have to be this particular model. This just
Right.
happens to be the one we've got.
Dongit's Model Railway asks, are there going to be videos today? Yes, there are. We're just about to start doing your videos, so we'll use this as a lead-in.
Yeah, essentially.
So, Damien McKenna says, any plans for a station? I do get asked this a lot. Not on Weir Yard, it has to be said. A lot of people liking this. Yeah, James Petts remembers this being recorded.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I'm wearing the same t-shirt.
Yeah, Somerset Andy says, Jenny, a question. What's the best way to wire my new Prodigy to the new railway? Pass. I'm not really great on electronics. If Richard Brighton is still in the chat, this might be one for him to answer. Ruben Ashwell likes the footage. Sue at Pudham Junction as well. Aiden's Railways. Wahey! Managed to make it for the last 30 minutes. It's great to see you. Hope you're well. Melchester Model Railway. The fisheye lens is better for head-on views. I know what you
Yes.
mean. When you're looking out the side, it looks weird because it makes everything bend too much. But when you're looking either straight ahead or back, it's not quite as noticeable. So I know exactly what you mean. Wamgox says, Jenny, I think I'm going to start a company called Billy's Replacement Speakers. Resurrected Jet, hi to you. Clive Cobalt says, Jenny, Peter Spares have replaced wheels for Lima coaches and wagons. That's a really, really good point. Resurrected Jet says, go, go, Power Ranger.
One that says butt crack cam, yes. Unfortunately, when you do the sign view, that's what you get. Okay, can you jump back? And
Yeah,
now
I
get
can do.
prepped for the stuff.
Right, so we're going to start prepping up some of you guys' videos. We had a load sent in last week, but because Zoe was ill, we weren't able to show
Oh
them.
man,
so we're
I was
going
so unwell.
So let's have a look. Mark Holt says, this is a heads up, guys. 2 of the Acura Scale Deltics are already sold out on pre-order.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, the Acura Scale Deltics are not that far away, and they are selling incredibly well. And this is the thing about Acura Scale, is that their products, I have not yet found a bad Acura Scale product. I'm not expecting to start finding them anytime soon. The products are always amazing. The Deltics that they're bringing out are pretty much guaranteed to be the definitive Deltic model for a long, long time to come. 2 of the models, as just been said in the chat, have been sold out to pre-order. You need to get your order in. Unfortunately, this is just the way that ordering model trains has become. Excuse me. Because of the popularity of a lot of things, the lower production runs as well. You just if a model is a must-have model, you've got to order it. It's just like the MDV Jenny Monday Club wagon, which has been tastefully made. This is a really good segue here. Really tastefully made, so that it's a prototypically accurate wagon, just with an addition of very, very tastefully done empty to wear yard branding and the JK graffiti style logo on one side. I know one troll was trying to make out, oh, it looks too neat and uniform. Well, Banksy uses stencils for his graffiti.
A lot of tags are stencils, so you can do it
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, because you don't want to be there hanging around when somebody comes up and goes, hello, 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 what are you up
And I'm
to?
not going to explain why I know this.
Yeah, but also, actually, no, I remember we watched graffiti artists in Birmingham, do you remember? And it was amazing to watch, and they are actually really, really quite neat. You know, we're not talking about people who just sort of scroll their name. We're talking about like graffiti. I don't like the term graffiti artist because it kind of legitimizes what is in effect
But
vandalism.
unfortunately, they are artists.
Yeah, but you know, it's like if somebody gave them a canvas and they painted that, it would be a really great work of art.
Okay.
Right, have you turned off Billy's replacement speakers?
Yes, I have. The first video we have is Iron Horse
Iron
Heathen.
Horse Heathen.
He actually had sent it in last week. And
this
this is
is
about adding fine details to older locomotives.
Project High Mech, and of course that's what I'm putting. Let me just. Are we ready? Have you
Ready when you are.
hit play?
So we've got an older. Looks a little bit weathered
It's
there.
either Triang or Hornby Class 35 High Mech, I think. So one of the things, of course, because we can't play the sound. Yeah, I think it's either Hornby or Triang.
Yeah,
Now,
don't worry, I'm going to put the links into the thingamajig.
Yeah, but those windscreen wipers do actually look really good, and it's one of the things that don't write off older models outright.
Yeah.
Some of the models, they were pretty good tooling for their time, but do benefit from additional detail. So in the case of this, I'm going to call it a Hornby Class 35. I don't think it's a Triang one. But certainly, some of the things that they don't have are things like windscreen wipers, and as you can see there, it does add a lot to a model, and
You can
it starts
bring
to
new
bring
life to them.
Yeah, definitely. And the Hornby Class 35, I guess, isn't like desperately bad.
Oh, you'll love this, Jen.
What?
James Pett says, Jenny, you should get an advertising billboard on your layout for Billy's replacement speakers. Weren't we talking about this?
No. Don't tell anybody, but we were planning on possibly commissioning a range of advertising boards, and one of which would be for Billy's replacement speakers. But don't tell anybody.
Do you want to tell them about the other one, the really special one that I enjoyed?
What the
Cupboard monkey brand cereal. Do you have a monkey in your cupboard?
Yes, even turns the milk chocolatey. Chocolatey. With a little tagline underneath. Don't drink it.
So he's popping out those windows with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
It really does look like this is going to be one that you have to listen to. So I've put
Yeah.
the link into the chat.
Right, so they've got the link in the chat. Thank you very much for sending us that. I think, unfortunately, because we don't play them with sound.
Well, we can't.
Yeah, because we can't hear the sound up here. So for all we know, you're going, Billy's replacement speakers! But look, thanks for sharing that with us. It does look like an interesting project.
It really
As I
does.
said before, it's something that adding detail to older locomotives, it can be a really fulfilling way of actually bringing some older models up to scratch. I know things like replacement buffers is another good way of improving the look of older models as well. Right, Scottish Railway Maniac, big hello to you. Wamgok says, but that's the name of my new business.
I'm sorry, but I
Yeah.
got there first by years. It's actually a cartoon.
And James Pett says, that's an excellent thing. When eventually I put scenery on my N-gauge layout, I shall need some advertising hoardings, so I hope that you commission them in N-gauge too. Might be able to do that, actually.
Now, this is the next thing that was sent to us. Richard Swiderski sent over this link and said, what do you think?
We did announce these, actually, at the
Right,
time.
that's okay then.
So it's just the Rapido trains 15XX pannier tank and the Hunslet 16-inch loco.
Excellent.
And also I think there's gunpowder wagon as well. Rapido trains, of course, we did cover that when they announced.
Yeah.
Got a full range coming out. But also, we did mention this last week as well, on the 1st of April, not long to go now,
Oh, really,
they
isn't
will
it?
be making an announcement about the Titfield Thunderbolt tie-in. They've got the worldwide license on the Titfield Thunderbolt, and there's obviously a bit of controversy because Hornby suddenly announced that they were working on a Lion, and then a couple of days later Rapido had to make an announcement. So all of a sudden Lions become really hot property.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my!
Yeah, come to Kenya, we
We
got
got
lions and tigers. Kenya, forget Norway.
That's not going to violate copyright
Right.
or the laws of singing.
Yeah,
So next-
I think that's what we're violating.
Next up, we have Tim's Model Railway in different videos. Has an Airfix GWR Caerphilly Castle.
Oh, treat it carefully.
Yes, which I think looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
So-
and again, some of these older models aren't actually too bad and can offer some great value for money.
You ran an Airfix one once, and it screamed.
Yeah,
when
it
it
sounded
ran
like a bag of spanners in a cement mixer. But certainly the body on these wasn't too bad for its day, and it may be that one of the things you can do is replace chassis, upgrade the chassis and wheels, and all of a sudden you've got yourself some quite nice locomotives. So Caerphilly Castle, it's always the big joke in Welsh. It's like it's basically the alliteration of Caerphilly and carefully. And again, the Great Crest Western, I can never remember which period that's when. Now, Great Western Railway liveries are always a massive minefield because the Great Western Railway was the only pre-grouping railway that continued with the same identity. Instead of being merged with other railway companies, they absorbed others, principally the Cambrian Railways and a number of other smaller concerns, but kept the identity of the Great Western Railway. So when it comes to liveries, you don't get that clear demarcation between pre-grouping and grouping that you do with like the LMS, the LNER and the Southern Railway.
The Airfix old boxes look very much like the modern boxes that you have now.
Sort of,
boxes haven't changed much for locals, have they?
Yeah, they have actually, but those were like the polystyrene, fantastic. But it's a lovely locomotive. Do you want to skip through and see if we get it running?
Oh yeah, there is a running test.
So let's get it running, and oh, you're off the track. Oh no! Oh no!
See if I can find a bit where it's running.
Oh, no.
It's decided to buffer. Oh. I thought he had a bit where it was running, but it looks like not.
No worries. Well,
Or a test of it running.
Oh,
a gronk! A gronksy!
Yeah.
I do like this.
Do like? Oh. I think he's trying to get it running, but it's not really playing ball because that suggests to me that your motor's dead on your castle.
That's a shame.
Which is a shame. Do try cleaning the contacts with electrical contact cleaner. Would be pretty good. Right, let's go over to another video, shall we? So thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Yes, thank you very much, Tim. I'll put the link into the description so everyone can have a look. Now, the next one we've got is rather interesting because... go on. What are we saying, Jen?
Sorry, just right. Oh yes, Wamgok says box on the new GT3 is fab. Yes, we've got on Wednesday this week. I have reviewed the GT3 gas turbine locomotive. So one of the things I will say to you is do look out for that video. And a big thanks to KR Models for loaning me the GT3 with a full sound installation to be able to film that video. Really looking forward to that. And they are starting to be dispatched, so I know a lot of people are saying that they're getting them. Look out for the special gift in the box. There's something special which KR Models didn't really make a big thing about, but it is there in the box. And if you've ordered one, they are still available to order through the KR Models website. But there's something special to look out for in the box. Right.
So this one is actually quite interesting. I've got a story to go with it. Or at least
I do love a good
message
garden railway.
Dear Jenny and Zoe, please find attached a link to a video I did almost 5 years ago. So guys, don't worry, this isn't during the time of COVID.
This is pre-COVID. Oh,
it's
I
from
like
2016.
That's an impressive locomotive.
In the interest of promoting foreign model railways, this is a model live steam club. Caters for 3 different gauges, 3.5 inch, 5 inch and 7.25 inch.
Wow.
The club is located near Roodport in the province of Gauteng, South Africa. I probably mispronounced most of that.
This looks really nice.
It really does look lovely, doesn't it?
Oh, this is
some of the
fun.
modelers in the UK would like to see that even in darkest Africa we have pockets of civilization. There's a lot of civilization.
We don't think that you're all living in mud huts or something like that. We know that... Yeah,
that's just how Jenny lives when I don't let her in the house.
What?
Yeah.
You'll
find out. You'll find out.
You know how we've got a carport? Well, you're sleeping in it tonight. This is really nice.
It really is.
And a good ride on outdoors layout is great. I know the Wardle Road will tell you all about the 5 inch gauge layout. It's very kindly invited me down there that one time. We got some really great video footage there, but it is so much fun, and this place looks to be a similar amount of fun. It's great. And you can see there with the tracks, you've got the 4 different rails to cover for all the different gauges.
They all look like they're having a lot of fun. Look
Well,
how bright it is. Oh
Well,
my goodness.
it's sunny.
Yeah, I think I would melt.
You always melt.
Well, I melt in France, never mind Africa.
You melt under a bright light bulb. So, this
It's
looks
funny
to be
because it's true.
Yeah, this looks to be a... Oh, derailed! Yes, we...
Oh no!
Oh no! Live steam as well. Ooh,
That's a big one.
that is actually quite nice. I like that. Ruben Ashwell says the Garden Railway looks very nice.
It really does. Is this oh, look at that! It's, oh my goodness, it's actually tiny compared to what we thought it was.
Yeah. Leslie Dickinson, hi to you. Richard Swiderski says GT3 hope to get a second run model. They are proving popular, but they are still available.
Water Road is here.
Oh, were your ears burning?
Yes.
Can't beat 5-inch gauge. You've got to come back again. I really want to. I'm still trying to persuade my father to build a 5-inch gauge steam locomotive.
Right, I could see that, yeah.
Right, and Mark Holt says the G is like pronounced as a H. It's Haotang or Haotang. Lovely country, lovely part of the country. It does look amazing, actually.
If the G's an H, why isn't it spelled with an H?
Well,
to confuse English people, that's why, isn't it?
Well, you're easily confused. I tell you what's really good. If you look on YouTube, there's one that's in it's either Italy or Spain in an olive grove, and it's something like 7¼ inch or 7½ inch, and it is an amazing railway.
Having Jesus H's, that could confuse a stupid person.
Oh right, so words in English like bow has a or what about sough? Spell SOUGH.
You see, this is the type of thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to have to move on because
this is a great video.
It is. I've linked it, and I think everyone's going to want to see that. The rest
Definitely.
of that. But it is 10 minutes, so we can't really show the whole thing.
But that is really good. So thank you ever so much for sharing that with us.
Yes.
Don't
thank
forget
you so
as
much,
well
Andrew.
that tickle that like button if you haven't already done so. Do consider sharing the stream and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Creeping Jane, hi to you. Ham Shackleton says if you ever get to Flixton, there is or was a live stream track in Chesham Park. Yes, used to go to the May Day Steam Rally every year for as long as I can remember. I know it well. In fact, my father's first Garrett, we used to take it to the May Day Steam Rally there all the time. So yes, I have ridden on that live steam track so many times. Thoroughly enjoy going there down in Flixton. It's sort of like the west side of Manchester. Is it Urmston and District Model Engineering Club, something like that?
Now, I've had a question in the chat asking when my Saturday streams are. 4 o'clock, 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Whatever
UK
time it is in the UK at the time, 4 p.m. So next up we have the
so
video
4 p.m. then is what
yes.
you're trying to say.
So next up we have the video that Iron Horse Heathen thought he'd sent us.
Albion. Oh right, so we weren't supposed to play the one about the split chassis, which somebody actually said, and I totally agree with them. Split chassis locomotives. Which idiot came up with that idea? Yeah,
So-
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so this one is actually Albion Railway's layout tour from Iron
Okay,
Horse.
let's
have a look at
move
it.
over to
Now
this.
I always like the
Ooh,
level
I
of
love
detail
the tree.
that goes in
The
these.
tree. Everybody look at
Yes.
the tree. That is a lovely tree. And the back scene as well. You see, they got the slightly faded out photographic back scene. Works
Yes.
so well.
Because the further away you get, the more blue everything looks,
Yeah.
and the more faded. Because the sky has a blue tint to it.
yeah. So there's a lot going on here. A lot of detail.
A horse.
A horse. Yes, a horse, of course.
Of course.
Oh, a wee grey Fergie, a TE20.
I have to admit, I love the level of detail here. All the different
Yeah, I like-
textures and colours.
Yeah, but not just that. Look at it. You see, you've got the trees and bushes in the foreground, and the pictures taken through that for a sense of depth. He lives at the brewery with his wife and has been in cider for a few years. Some lovely modelling here. And that's quite an imposing building there. I like the way you sort of fitted it into the corner and made really good use of...
yeah, that does look well done.
That is nice. A lot of interest there, a lot of scenic interest. And there's that Class 35.
And everything looks worn.
Well, yeah.
Nothing's clean. Because everything ends up with a layer of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I like the tarpaulin there.
Is that the toilet paper stuff that we raved about last time?
It must be, yeah. I have tried using bog roll for tarpaulins as well.
It's actually really, really good.
So I hope to release the warehouse kit as a downloadable kit in the future.
That'd be nice.
That does look good. Is that an A1? I'm going to say it's an A1.
Yeah, James Betts says there's so much stuff on
boom,
this.
Boom! I guessed correctly.
And he's right, there is. There's so much going on. I love it.
And like with all that weathering, like the moss and the ivy.
Yes.
Really, really nice. He looks a bit too sort of glow in the dark for the with all the steam stuff. Finished warehouse will have a basic interior. It does look a really great kit.
Oh,
there.
that's a good idea.
I like with the closable doors, so you get a sense of depth in there as well.
If it's got an interior as well, then you can have lighting effects and all sorts.
So, you got the Pico back scene there. Actually, Les used that cut out into bits.
Oh my goodness, it's actually smaller than I expected, given the low shots that we saw.
The photographs, the low angles really
it
bring the
massive.
Yeah.
That is great.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And do we have, how many more videos have we got?
Not many. Iron Horse says it's a tornado, but I've done it like an A1.
Excellent.
Wow.
Thank you ever so much for sending us that. I really enjoyed that.
That's really cool.
James Pex approves of interiors. Yeah, because it's nice when you go inside your house and there's something there.
You want to do what you want to go inside and have furniture?
Rule 1 Model Railway says, I like how the corner is well utilised. Iron Horse Heathen says, it is indeed bog roll tarp.
Oh, I think you'll like this, Jan.
Michael Pollitt says, hi Jenny, nice to see you and Zoe. Always a pleasure to get interesting and informative information on the hobby from yourself. Keep up the good work. Thank you ever so much. Let's have a look. Right. Tom McKee, hi to you. Timothy Kynard says looks good. Mark Holt says Afrikaans is based on Dutch, so marijuana is probably involved with the G being an H. So, right.
Okay, so next up we have Egg Rider on YouTube, Jen, and a Welsh railway called Cumpecuru. I think.
No.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
No, it's not. Pencur. Oh, that is a nice church. Oh, and the GWR City class.
Again,
is that City
detail.
of Truro? And the Hornby 4-wheel coaches. I do like them.
So, Egg Rider has sent a little text with it. So, here's a short video of my layout, which is now in the into the what buildings do I need and where will they go before I fully landscape phase of having made my open-sided veranda into a proper tunnel last week. That's quite cool.
Excellent. Oh,
the layout is designed so that it can be dismantled, so there'll always be some elements that look plonked in place. Rule 1 applies.
Yeah. Good use of materials there for the cliff face.
The cliff looks really good.
That's turned out really, really well.
And
with some greenery on, that'll really start to look amazing.
So, Jen, what would Kumpakuru, or however it's pronounced, actually...
Sounds like you're speaking Japanese when you said it.
What would that translate as?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Well, Egg Rider knows. It's Beerhead Vale. Which, I think that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people actually pointing out, like Craig Douglas, the split chassis locos had much better pickup than the Hornby models of the 80s. We were forever cleaning wheels and wipers on the Hornby and Lima models, where the mainline ones had great pickups. Yeah, when they were new, they were all right, but it's the plastic bushes on the wheels that always used to split, which ruined them for me. Nice turntable, incidentally. Always love a good turntable.
I'm loving this. It's got a lot of interest to it.
I do like a good city class locomotive.
Yeah.
And those Hornby four-wheelers are actually pretty good.
They do look good. They've got a lot of characters.
Yeah, oh, the C class. Oh, boom. Love the C class in the South Eastern and Chatham Railway livery.
I like the way that he's got a glass effect on that roof.
Well, yeah, I like the footbridge as well from the Hornby Scaledale range.
Yeah.
Can't read the number,
nice.
whether that's number 583 or 592, but certainly the Bachmann C class in the South Eastern and Chatham Railway livery is an amazing model, and it's certainly one worth picking up for your collection. I know the original 592, which is the is actually the version that is preserved, or the one that's preserved at the Bluebell Railway. Was incredibly desirable. I know that it's probably one of the highest priced non-limited edition locomotives that Bachmann have ever produced. At one point I saw them changing hands for £550 a piece on the bay. That has come back and sort of settled down a little bit, but it's still actually quite a sought after locomotive. And we've also got the Bachmann birdcage coaches in the South Eastern and Chatham Railway,
which always look
vermilion
there's
livery.
There's a lovely character to that livery.
Oh yeah. It is. I love those coaches. Bachmann have produced 3 different runs of them. So there's actually 9 different coaches in South Eastern and Chatham Railway livery that you. Oh, that was well timed. That you can actually get. But the pre-grouping period is really nice. Again, the Great Western Railway liveries, I always struggle to work out which are suitable for pre-1923. DJ Paul 146 says, greetings from the little old town of Oldham in the northwest of England. You just down the road from us.
Yeah, not far at all. I've canvassed Oldham.
Tico 360, hi to you. Belmont Junction as well. Apparently Iron Horse Heathen has picked up 3 subscribers whilst we were showing that video, so well done there. And that's David Watts agrees, Airfix is still okay, but they were noisy.
It's like I keep saying, this is partly why we show these videos. Mostly it's because everyone can, it doesn't matter how experienced you are, there's always someone who's done something a little bit different to how you would expect. You can get some good effects, so you can learn something. But also, we want to showcase that there's a huge amount of model railway enthusiasts out there, and it's not just the core group of like the big YouTubers. There's a huge wide range of people doing great interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And if we can show it to you, that's exactly what we want to do.
And it's one of the things that I like to do because it's, you know, it's a really great way of getting other people in the hobby noticed. You know, I know that the trolls always try and claim that it's like, oh, Jenny doesn't give anything to the hobby. So it's really nice to actually, rather than
this looks great,
as the trolls do, make it about themselves. I like to
make it about the community. Yeah. Because, like we said right from the start, this is a club. This is your railway club.
Well, look, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Really thoroughly did enjoy that.
I really did too.
Do we have any others?
We have 2 more, but this next one is a bit different, Jen.
Oh, this is...
read out what you need to.
PH's Railway Video says, how do I send in a video? What you need to do is send the URL, not the video as an attachment because it will just not get through, but the URL in an email, put Monday Club in the title so that the Cupboard Monkey can find it, and send that to Zoe@ZoeRobinson, all one word, .com. And that's how you get a video on the Monday Club.
So this next one, Jen.
You jump in quick.
No, it's okay, go on.
Right, James Pett says, as to great GWR liveries, the Locomotive livery changed in circa 1910 to 1912 and did not change again until 1934, apart from any wartime economy measures. Carriage liveries changed in 1912, 1922. Now that's the one, isn't it, that's going to get you, because 1922 is pretty much just at the point of grouping anyway. So locomotives, I think that locomotives are probably easier to get pre-grouping ones than the carriages. Right. Belmont Junction says, Jenny built Britain's biggest model railway. Technically, well, wasn't
you've done
just me.
a bit of it.
72 miles, the full length of the Great Glen Way. So yeah, actually, technically I did.
Yeah, you did.
Right.
This next one,
We seem to have an issue there.
Yeah, don't worry about it. This next one is going to be one that people are going to have to go and have a look at themselves to get the full idea of it.
Right, because
So, this is... it's been sent to us from White Wall Wheels.
One hardcore MOH.
But what he said is, this is sound in a DC wagon, and it's a challenge for kit bashers. So we're going to have a look at it, but I can't show you the sound, so I can't show you
we
the
will
walkthrough
share the
of it.
link.
I'll show you. I'll put the link into the chat.
Right.
So whenever you're ready, my dear.
It's got the spinning.
Don't worry about it. Whenever you're ready, my dear.
Okay, press play. Right, would you pass me a Becky?
You want a Nicky Dicky?
We sit with very colourful locomotives.
Yes.
Some of these I don't remember on Thomas the Tank Engine. Some of these locomotives, like there was only up to Donald and Douglas, from what I remember when I was a kid.
I love how this looks. There's so much going on, and to me, that shows someone who enjoys what they're doing. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I understand when people like Jenny have their model with everything precisely laid out, but I also love that there's bits here and bits there and bits all over the place for some other layouts. It's different ways of doing things. That's what I like. But there's actually a really good mention in the chat where where's it gone? Oh, I've lost it now. Where they were saying that the advantage of the live stream is we get to see layouts that you wouldn't see at exhibitions. And that, to me, is exactly what is part of why I wanted to do this. I love this. There's character to it. It's all kinds going on.
What's that engine there? The big square-looking one.
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't recognise that one.
What's that big orange structure at the back?
Not sure.
It's just gone off the camera, but it looked like something that might be in Star Wars. I was like, wow, that looks like it wouldn't be out of place in something that I would do. I like this. It's got
Yeah.
It's busy.
Yeah, it's a proper fun railway.
Yes, fun. That's the word.
Ooh,
Fun.
Polar Express. Right. You've
I like this. I'm
shared
going to
the.
try and jump on a little bit. See what else we've got.
I think you're gonna need to watch
There.
this with sound.
Oh, look at all that.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
that orange thing. I don't know what it is.
No, a crane. It's a crane.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
This is really good. But guys,
So much Thomas the Tank Engine stuff.
talking a lot of it's about the sound on DC.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm
DC is an
curious.
interesting thing
What
to put
the
sound
what
on.
you just seeing the buffer beam there? What is that square one? What is it?
Oh,
Is
I
it-
don't know, but it's pulling some Janet's pulling dinosaurs. Oh, this layout just keeps getting better.
Excellent. Oops.
I like the dinosaurs. I am all about the dinos. Okay, but our final one.
Okay, so
So if you jump back, it's going to be short.
so we're gonna go. Is this the final video?
This will be the final video because we are
So
actually at 9 o'clock.
I know. So thank you all the people who sent. And then
Yeah,
we've
thank
got
you, White Wall Wheels.
one more to show, and this is from.
This is from someone called Crystal Penguin. If I can get it to load up. Ah, there it is.
Okay, so it's just
Just loading
kicking
up
off.
now.
So this is Crystal Penguin, and it's the Sterling single OO model running at Vancouver Train Expo 2019.
Yes.
So
Here we go.
and this is Rapido Trains made this for the National Railway Museum, and you might have to crane your head a bit.
Yeah.
And there's no way of us turning it, is there?
Nope. It's just one of those things.
But you can see all the US outline stuff there. It's very incongruous with this US landscape.
I kind of like it though. It's like it's on tour.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people doing what I'm doing now. And it's
Wow.
infuriating if you're watching on a phone, because every time you turn it, it goes, oh no, we can turn that as well. But oh, Mind the Gap. This one's called.
I do like this.
Yeah, I mean that looks really nice. I don't know why it's done that. It's sort of decided that your video was going to be the wrong way.
Sometimes it happens with you. I have to edit some of your videos to turn them
Mobile
around.
phones are obsessed with filming in a really, really rubbish aspect. So it's making me feel a bit dizzy, I must admit. But look, thank you very much
That
for
is
sharing
really
that
good.
with us. Might be worth using a video editing program to turn the video and then re-upload it. But certainly, I'm loving that model.
Yeah.
But look, thank you ever so much for sharing those videos with us. There's just time left for me.
Back on
Yeah, I have. Just got time left for me to say a big, big thank you to everybody who's been in. Don't forget that you can catch up with any bits that you've missed or watch again after the stream. This video goes up as a permanent video. Big, big thank you to everybody who's shared videos with us. And a
And if
special,
any have come in
huge...
after we started, I'm sorry, but they haven't come through yet.
Yeah, and of course, we will carry them over to next week.
Absolutely.
So, I also like to say that a huge thank you to everybody who's donated using the Super Chat and also the PayPal.me. And don't forget to look out for, we've got a full review of the KR Models GT3 gas turbine locomotive with, excuse me, the full sound fitting. Well, it's got the full shebang with the sound decoder in there. That review is coming on Wednesday. KR Models tell me that they are still available through their website. On Friday, we've got a new old stock video. Yes, that's right. I have been shopping around. So I did a mystery shop, and the shop of choice is TMC, aka the Model Centre. I have been browsing their new old stock and also some of their incredibly good value special commissions as well. And if you remember the video that I did with the Hereford Model Centre, somebody said, "Oh no, my bargains just yet." But we're going to be doing that on Friday. That's a really exciting video. Do look out for that. It's great for those of you who are looking for some amazing bargains.
Yes.
And we've also got coming up the week after as well. Look out for the full range of the American Limited Models tanker cars. Really looking forward to showing you those. And a big, big thank you to American Limited Models and Robert Steers for sending those over for review.
And also, of course, a big, big thank you to our sponsor.
Hey, do you, instead of interrupting me, maybe you could wait, until I finish talking.
No, I can't possibly do that.
And an extra special thanks goes out to Scale Model Scenery, who support the Monday Club. And you'll find a link to their website down below. We've shown a few of their products through the stream, but there's an amazing selection of models and a multiple of different scales for augmenting models, scratch building models, and generally there is something there for you to make your model railway special. So without further ado, it's just left for me, Jenny Kirk, and the Cupboard Monkey, annoying though she is, to say goodbye.
Bye-bye. Help.
But look, you guys take great care of yourself, and this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying take care, happy modelling, bye for now.
Bye-bye. The train now departing is the 2112 service to Grove Street Yard, stopping at Weir Yard, Lynn Pattis, Bolton Trinity Road, Eindhoven, and then Grove Street Yard. That is the 2112 service to Grove Street Yard. If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train that ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Glow. Yay!